Hurts looking the other way. Lofts it. Barkley, end zone, makes the grab. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
My Packers fans, my NFL fans, let's go. Week 1, baby. Football is back. That's why you're going to want to subscribe to the channel, because this type of football content is going to be coming all season long. Please subscribe to the channel. We're also going to get into baseball as the postseason is close, and NBA and NHL once they start up. We talk all sorts of sports on this channel, but football for sure. So you want to subscribe to my football fans and my sports fans. Had to get that one out of the way. Build this channel up, make it bigger and better. We do that by subscribing. Now, let's get into it. For my cheese heads, the Green Bay Packers in Sao Pao, Brazil against the Philadelphia Eagles. Not really a good idea, NFL. I thought that this was a dramatic fail on behalf of the NFL. Sao Pao, Brazil, Corinthians Field. It's meant for soccer. The turf was downright awful. You had major slippage the entire game. Saquon Barkley on the Eagles' first drive slipped and fell right on his face, had to exchange his cleats, get different spikes. I mean, the field played a huge impact in this game. Jordan Love, his accuracy wasn't the best in this game, but you can also blame that to footing. You saw on a number of plays, kind of his footing wasn't there in his dropbacks. His accuracy kind of struggled. You're kind of going to deal with that with the kinks of just starting a new season and getting back into the swing of full competitive head-to-head football. So you could put that on the shelf there because that's going to happen. But the field was undeniably a problem in this game. Sao Paulo, Brazil, in my opinion, was not ideal here. The Packers were like 2 hours late in traffic in just getting to the field. Both teams had to deal with the travel aspect. Probably not an ideal thing to do for week 1. Maybe save that for later on in the season. But all in all, I think everybody can agree. Packers fans, Eagles fans aside, just football fans watching this thing, it was not what you wanted. But the Packers fall to this one, 34-29. They fall to the Eagles in this one, I should say. Jordan Love, this is the biggest thing. We all held our breaths as Packer fans. The third to last play of the game, he goes down. Here's the knee injury here. It looked disgusting. It looked like, oh boy, if he's done, our season is done. Everybody feared ACL or even worse. Thank the good Lord above. MCL sprain was the verdict. 3 to 6 weeks. Not the worst thing in the world. In fact, probably best case scenario. So you roll with Malik Willis for at least the next 3 weeks. You have a favorable schedule. You got the Colts, you got the Vikings, and you get the Titans. All games that are, in my eyes, pretty winnable. But Green Bay in this one, overall, you couldn't stop Saquon Barkley. I understand it was Jeff Hafley's first game as the DC. He's got to work out things, especially with new players added, such as Xavier McKinney, Edgar and Cooper, to name a couple, Javon Bullard. The defense kind of has to get going and get into a groove. It's the first game of the season, but Barkley ran roughshod. Guy had 3 total touchdowns, including that sick catch that he had in the left side of the end zone from Jalen Hurts. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. So Barkley was a problem. The Packers in the red zone still, yet again, was a problem. If you have 3 turnovers that you forced, your defense gets you back the ball 3 different occasions. More often than not, if you win the turnover battle, you're going to win the game. That was not the case for the Packers. 9 total points on 3 turnovers, all 3 field goals. You can't have that. You got to find pay dirt in the red zone. That is something that Green Bay struggled with, dating back most recently to the divisional game against the 49ers. They were 2 for 5 in the red zone. Those struggles kind of continued. So you look for them to clean that up moving forward. They had 400 plus yards offensively. So, I mean, it looked like they were right there, and they were right there knocking on the doorstep of winning this game. But the offense just could not get it done when they needed to. The drop passes were another aspect. Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks. Now, granted, Christian Watson slipped on one in the end zone. So the field plays an impact. But if the ball hits your hands, you got to catch that ball. We saw that numerous times with this Packers receiving core. Jordan Love, I said, with the accuracy, that interception in the second half proved costly because the Eagles would cash in on the Barkley run in the red zone, and the Eagles would take the lead off of that, so that was extremely costly there. But 0-0, Green Bay needed to clean it up in the red zone. You win the turnover battle, you have to win the game. That did not happen. Jordan Love, his final stat line, 17 for 34, 260 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. Not enough for the Packers to win this one. Give me your thoughts. I want to hear your takeaways from the Packer fans out there. Thank the good Lord that Jordan Love is okay, though, so we can relax, to quote a former Packers quarterback. We can simmer down because we will get him back at some point. Maybe the Green Bay Packers will go out there and get Ryan Tannehill. Let's see, but let's ride. Go Pack, go. Stay tuned right now, though. We're going to get into rookie reactions from the Week 1 NFL slate.
Whoa, baby! Oh, just good.
All right, Week 1 rookie reactions. We had some rookies take the field for the first time in the big leagues. Gonna start with wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals fall to the Buffalo Bills 34-28 in that one. Marv Harrison, highly touted wide receiver prospect coming out of Ohio State. Arguably the best player coming out of the draft is what a lot of people were saying. Probably neck and neck with Caleb Williams. But in his debut with Kyler Murray, 1 catch on 3 targets for a total of 4 yards. For fantasy managers, definitely not what you want. I am a fantasy manager of Marvin Harrison Jr. in one of my leagues. He was my 2nd round pick. Not the best start, not the best debut by any stretch of the imagination. For fantasy managers out there, fantasy football owners, around 3 points is what he got you this past Sunday. Definitely not ideal, but it's one game. I'm sure him and Kyler Murray will get more of a rapport moving forward. It's going to happen. You got to go through the kinks and the growing pains. First time playing together in an actual regular season NFL game. So benefit of the doubt there for Marv Harrison Jr., but not the best debut. Now to get into the quarterbacks here, going to try to get through and breeze through these. Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, they fall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as Baker Mayfield balls out. 37-20 was the final score for that one. Jaden Daniels, though, not really too efficient through the air. I mean, completion percentage-wise, very efficient, but what I mean is offensively, he didn't really do the most through the air. He had 184 yards passing. They needed to get the passing attack going in that second half. It was more of him using his legs. He was 17 for 24, 70%, so pretty damn good for accuracy, but he was much better in the running game. 16 rushes for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. He found pay dirt twice in that second half. But when your leading receiver is your running back, Austin Eckler with 52 receiving yards, that's a problem. They got to get Terry McLaurin implemented into that offense, and Jaden Daniels and McLaurin have to ball out like they did in training camp. Got to get that rapport going and build that relationship up, because Terry McLaurin having 2 receptions for 17 yards is a problem. Them trading away Jahan Dotson to the Eagles also isn't ideal for that passing attack, but bottom line is they got to get it going through the air. The defense didn't help them out either because Baker Mayfield had 4 touchdowns, so that's kind of where Washington started to falter, but got to get the passing attack going. Moving on to the next quarterback, the guy that I said was up there with Marvin Harrison Jr. from most complete and probably highly touted player coming out of this draft, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears in his debut, first rookie quarterback to debut in Week 1 and get a win in Week 1 since 2002, David Carr. Caleb Williams and the Bears took down the Titans 24-17, mainly because of their defense and their special teams. The defense had a pick 6 against Will Levis in the second half, which was horrible. Guy should have just taken the sack, but he decided to try to be Brett Favre and toss it out there, and it was run back for 6. So primarily the Bears won off of the defense, because if you look at Caleb's performance, 22.2 quarterback rating, 48.3% completion percentage, 14 for 29, 93 yards. Surely nothing to write about in the papers. Sacked twice. There was moments in time where it looked like he was trying to play hero ball and extend plays, but do so a little too much. You can't run backwards on a play and then get sacked on it. So growing pains, again, this is Week 1, this is rookie reactions. Growing pains there. They're going to get, I'm sure he's going to get into a rhythm. He has a shot to kind of avenge himself through the passing game. And rushing, he only had 15 yards. Coming up in Week 2, he has a chance to do that. But Caleb Williams, sorry Bears fans, nothing to get too overzealous about. You got a nice Week 1 win. He does get the win under his belt, but not the most polished of starts. And the last guy that I will touch on here will be Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos. He looked composed. Sean Payton came out and said, I liked it. I liked what I saw from the kid. He looked composed. He looked pro football ready. 26 of 42, 138 yards through the air, but 2 interceptions. No touchdowns through the air, but he did have a sick rushing touchdown in that second half where he put a defender on spin cycle and rumbled into the end zone. But 2 really costly interceptions by Bo Nix. One to Julian Love, the former New York Giant and former Notre Dame product. Shout out the Irish. He intercepted Bo Nix on the 1 yard line. That proved obviously very costly. And then I think Tariq Woolen had one in the fourth quarter. Also a very costly interception for the Broncos. They ultimately fell in that game because in the first half, the defense was doing their part. But kind of in the second half, they fell apart. And Kenneth Walker kind of went off in the second half and balled out against this Broncos defensive front. Bo Nix looked polished, looked composed, but you got to clean up the turnovers. You can't be throwing costly interceptions and expect to win a football game. His rushing touchdown came with about 2 minutes left, so little too late for a comeback there. But that's my rookie reactions to the 3 quarterbacks and to Marv Harrison Jr. Just a shout out to Ladd McConkey, who also scored his first receiving touchdown in the league for the Chargers, and Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jags scored his first receiving touchdown for them. But let me know what you guys think about the rookies from week 1 in the NFL, and stay tuned for more NFL content. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because it helps more than you know.